America no longer needs Americans. And I'm talking about the bottom 75, 80% of Americans. And I don't care what your skin color or what you consider your nationality. If you are a natural born American and you are in the bottom 75 to 80%, America no longer needs you. And here's why. There are several things going on in America that the average person is not paying attention to. I just want to talk about like the banking system and the economics. So a lot of people think that the economy is going to crash, the housing market, the banking system, all of this doom and gloom on YouTube. And in reality, here's several things that people don't understand about the economy, about the banks, about the real estate market. Of course, these are things that I'm privy to because I'm an agent. I got this YouTube channel. I do a lot of work with these banks and I know exactly what's going on. So let's start with the real estate market first, right? There's three people that are fueling and propping up the real estate market. The top 20% of Americans, the hedge funds, and third are the foreigners. Okay, so let's start with the top 20% of Americans. These are the people that make decent money. Let's just say like $250,000 and higher, right? Maybe like 150, 175, depending on where you live. That can actually afford. Maybe they work for the federal government. They can afford to buy homes. These hedge funds, they are building what's called rental communities all around the country. So these look like new build townhomes, new build single families, but they're rental only, right? Like I had a meeting with Toll Brothers, and their land acquisition person for this region. When you hear Toll Brothers, you think elaborate single family homes, right? But they have a division where they're building condos, townhomes, apartment complexes, right? And these things are rental only. Their for sale stuff is for the big dollars, right? Now, on to the foreigners, okay? Here's one thing, especially in the real estate market, that a lot of people don't know. And the government and the banks are in cahoots, and this is what they're doing to Americans. They have sold out America. These foreigners come over here, okay? And there's nothing wrong with being an immigrant, nothing wrong with being foreign. I have nothing against any of these people, but we're all playing a part in it that most of us don't know. Some of us do know, but I'm a solutions kind of person. So I'm going to talk about what's going on, and I'm going to give you the solution so that you can get out of that 80% of Americans that are stuck. Okay. These foreigners come over here. They come over here several ways. They come over here on work visas, just as an example. They come over here as like asylum seekers. That's another example, right? So what happens is they come over here and the banks are like, look, we will give you all money to, let's just say, buy a house, right? So here's what the lenders are doing. You come over here as a foreigner on your work visa. You get a job. They have no credit, clean slate. They get 1 year of rental history. So what these loan officers and these lenders do, these banks, they take that 1 year history and they build a credit report with it. They'll call the landlord, have him fill out a document, says, hey, was this person on rent? Were they on time every month? Yes, no, whatever. And then they turn that, boom, 700 credit score. And then the states, I talk about this all the time. The states then give first time home buyers assistance to these immigrants and, these foreigners, and they start buying homes in America. Okay. And the reason why I know this because 90% of my clientele in my real estate business are foreigners. When I have listings, the people that are buying it, they're foreigners, and they're not citizens. Like they have passports from their country, or they had these, these cars to get into America, but yet they're able to get access to money to buy real estate. The states are giving them money to be able to do this stuff, right? So you have the average American that can't afford a home, but these foreigners come over here and it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork. It's easy. I was hosting an open house for a listing that I have in Northwest DC, and this guy came and he could barely speak English, and I want to say he was from some war-torn country. He still kind of smelled like gunpowder, like he was, but he showed me his food stamps. He showed me his Section 8 voucher, and my man had some dough, in terms of like the amount of money that the government was giving him. And I'm just thinking like, dang, like the average American's not even touch. Like he's literally six figures a year in between food stamps and the subsidized housing. But what they do is they give you the subsidized housing, and then once you get a good job, they then take that subsidized housing and put it on their credit report and build them a credit report, and then allow them to use that credit report to purchase a home. The states or the cities give them the money for the down payment, and then they get in the house. That easy. That's what's going on in the real estate market. And you can say I'm part of it because I figured it out, because like I figured it out so much to the point I told my wife, like, get your license as a loan officer, and we're gonna get this pipeline popping. These people that are coming from not certain parts of Africa, they're coming from India, they're coming from Jamaica, they're coming from different parts of the Caribbean, and they've on the outside they figured out how to get into America, get the quote unquote free money, use that to build the credit report, get a decent job through, some kind of a nursing program or some kind of program, right? And then they're able to get access to the banking system through that, and then buy a house. And I'm thinking like I have them actually ask me, can I buy a house? I'm not an American citizen. And I just be like, let's try it. And so what ends up happening is once I help one person, they started telling people. And then, so I'm like, hold on. And then I started getting emails from banks. Hey, do you know anybody that is, not from America that wants to buy a house? Like, reach out to us. And, so it's like not saying it's not a conspiracy, but this is set up by design. And this is one of the reasons why I'm saying that bottom 75-80% of America no longer needs you. Like they don't. They just need Americans for the healthcare system. That's it. So let me talk about the healthcare system, right? The majority of the food companies, let's just say like Kellogg's, General Mills, right? Those are owned by the Rockefeller family. Okay. The pharmaceutical industry is owned by the Rockefeller family. So what happens is, you as an American, when you wake up in the morning and you eat your Cheerios or your whatever, you're eating your cancer, you're eating your diabetes. And then what happens is, once you get sick, you come over here to the healthcare side, and they're giving you this medicine that is subsidized by the federal government. So essentially what's happening is, it's a machine, right, where you need the people to keep coming in and out, in and out, in and out, to milk the money from the federal government. And it's being milked multiple ways. So we're taking the money out of the federal government, through the immigrants, and back into the banking system. Technically, you're buying this Kellogg cereal or this food from this family, and then you're coming to the federal government to be able to subsidize your medicine, and the money comes from out of the federal government and goes right into that family's pocket, right? And then you could say the banks, they're families too. I mean, they're all, it's really all the same people for real. But that's what's going on. So, the bottom 75 or 80% of Americans are no longer needed, because now these immigrants can come in, they can work jobs cheaper. They come over here in these STEM programs, and once you add artificial intelligence in the mix, it's over. And I'm trying to give people an idea of how you can take advantage of this, take advantage of this shift in economic opportunity. So just think, right? How can you make money off of these immigrants, these foreigners that are coming into the country? I figured out my way. I know that these banks are opening up the floodgates to allow them to purchase homes. So guess what? I'm going to be the real estate agent, right? And my wife going to be the loan officer. And, instead of complaining or being worried or thinking that it's the end of the world, how can you make money off of the shift of what's going on right now? And how America has changed, right? Now, is it a bad thing for most people? But it doesn't have to be. You just got to understand the game plan and what's going on. Again, like I said, these banks are sending this stuff around in emails. I see it all the time. Know anybody that doesn't have a social security number or that doesn't have a credit profile? All they have is an ITIN. Well, we'll build it for them. And they send it around in the email so that you can send them, clientele, and they can build that credit profile, send the client back to you. You buy a house and everybody makes money. It's really that simple. That's what's going on right now. So people think that, a housing crash or an economic crash. Nah, what's happened is everything has shifted. America no longer needs Americans. America only needs you to support the healthcare system. That's it. They're going to invite everybody's coming in and taking over. So you have to figure out it and get in where you fit in. Everybody else is going to fall to the wayside. They're going to become lifetime renters. They're already on the healthcare system for a lifetime. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on that front.